Greetings, citizens. This is Lieutenant Commander Mr. Everything coming at you with an important announcement from the UEE Navy. The 1st Naval Aerospace Squadron, the Lions, is recruiting. Be a part of something great. Join now. We are looking for new and veteran players. The 1st Naval Aerospace Squadron is a UEE Navy carrier-based squadron. If you're looking for a disciplined, well-trained unit, join now. Not only do we want combat professions, but we need first-person marine experts, merchants, miners, salvage. All professions are welcome in the 1st Naval Aerospace Squadron. Our mission is to protect the UEE and its citizens. Join the 1st Naval Aerospace Squadron. Expected missions would be anti-piracy, anti-smuggling, fleet protection, search and rescue, convoy escort, bounty hunting, exploration, mining, salvage, asset protection, cargo hauls, to name a few. Join now and see the galaxy. We have an organization page on the RSI website, as well as the forums in Spectrum, and we have our very own Discord. Role-playing is encouraged, but not mandatory. The galaxy awaits. Join now. Whether you're casual or competitive, we're looking for committed players. We're based on a World War II U.S. Navy Air Squadron theme. Our focus are carrier-based craft, with our primary being the Sabre. But all ships are needed and wanted in the squadron. We would like to have a wide variety of ships to allow all kinds of gameplay. Visit now your local Navy recruiter and join the 1st Naval Aerospace Squadron. The squadron is growing. Visit our recruiter at robertspaceindustriescom/orgs/1NAS to become a member of something great. Greetings, citizens. This is Lieutenant Commander Mr. Everything coming at you with an important announcement from the UEE Navy. The 1st Naval Aerospace Squadron, the Lions, is recruiting. Be a part of something great. Join now. We are looking for new and veteran players. The 1st Naval Aerospace Squadron is a UEE Navy carrier-based squadron. If you're looking for a disciplined, well-trained unit, join now. Not only do we want combat professions, but we need first-person marine experts, merchants, miners, salvage. All professions are welcome in the 1st Naval Aerospace Squadron. Our mission is to protect the UEE and its citizens. Join the 1st Naval Aerospace Squadron. Expected missions would be anti-piracy, anti-smuggling, fleet protection, search and rescue, convoy escort, bounty hunting, exploration, mining, salvage, asset protection, cargo hauls, to name a few. Join now and see the galaxy. We have an organization page on the RSI website, as well as the forums in Spectrum, and we have our very own Discord. Role-playing is encouraged, but not mandatory. The galaxy awaits. Join now. Whether you're casual or competitive, we're looking for committed players. We're based on a World War II U.S. Navy Air Squadron theme. Our focus are carrier-based craft, with our primary being the Sabre. But all ships are needed and wanted in the squadron. We would like to have a wide variety of ships to allow all kinds of gameplay. Visit now your local Navy recruiter and join the 1st Naval Aerospace Squadron. The squadron is growing. Visit our recruiter at robertspaceindustriescom/orgs/1NAS to become a member of something great. All right, hello again, everybody. This is Mr. Everything, and I am coming at you with something a little bit different this week. I don't plan to log into the game and actually play the game. I had a topic that I wanted to just talk about with you guys. If you're in our Twitch channel, you can chat with me via the Twitch chat. And if you're not familiar with our Twitch channel, it should be a link in the description below. All right, so I'm coming at you with kind of a cool announcement, but it's also kind of a bummer at the same time. But let me just say what we're going to be doing. We're going to be transitioning our Friday night Star Citizen Live After Midnight stream to something that I used to run maybe the first 4 years of Star Citizen. So like 2012 to 2016 or so. I hosted a show called Filling the Void. Originally, we were called From the Verse. Okay? Same initials. FTV, From the Verse. And when they started talking about, when they released their show back in the day called Around the Verse, we felt that we were being very samey. Even though we were first, we thought, because they had Wingman's Hangar, and then we had From the Verse. Then they had Reverse the Verse. And at that point, we realized that we were doing the same thing that they were doing. Or at least, let me rephrase that. We weren't doing the same thing they were doing. We were doing something that sounded like we were doing the same thing they were doing. So we changed the name to Filling the Void. Because that's really what we were doing. We were filling the gap between patches, which were coming at an extremely large amount of time, like 6 months to a year between patches. We were filling the void of gameplay that we didn't have between the time that we were initially backing the Kickstarter up until that point. But we had talked about a lot of different topics from, the different aliens, the different ships at the time, the different job professions, whether people were going to role play or not. Basically, there's a whole bunch of different topics that we had brought up. And we had Filling the Void was set up to be like a talk show with multiple hosts or co-hosts. I would be the host, and then there was multiple co-hosts. And we did that for about 3.5, 4 years. The fourth year was kind of a half season because, no, the third season. 3 seasons. We did I don't remember. Because I think we ended it in 2016 maybe. And like 3 years ago. But I think our last season was only like half a season. So, when I say half a season, I'm talking about like 6 episodes. And we started running into a stumbling block of not knowing what else we could talk about that hasn't already been talked about. Now, we did not rehash what was said in Around the Verse or Wingman's Hangar or any of the shows that CIG had put out. We did not just regurgitate the information that was being put out by the official studios. So we weren't the news channel. You didn't come to us to hear what you can already hear just by clicking on the CIG video. There are streamers today, that's all they do. They watch videos from what CIG's putting out, and then they say exactly the same thing, maybe in their own words, but they basically just regurgitate the knowledge. And some streamers have become, or some YouTubers have become very popular doing that. We made a conscious decision not to do that. The conscious decision that we had was to talk about things that people weren't talking about, or to talk about things that was on our minds that might also be on your mind. We would theory craft, we would speculate, now, don't get me wrong, if something was really cool and exciting, yes, we would talk about it, but we wouldn't regurgitate the news. That's not what we were all about. Okay. This week, I every month, let me rephrase this. Every month, which just happened to be this week, I put out a channel update. I put out what's called Mr. Everything's Wargaming Channel Update, because I do more than just play Star Citizen. I also wargame, miniature-wise, board game-wise, role-playing, other computer games. My channel is a variety channel. It's not only Star Citizen. Star Citizen would not be in any way possible able to support my channel via content. So I had to branch out and do other things. And one of the things that I'm really passionate about is miniature wargaming. So I have a miniature wargaming channel update. And when I was talking about it, I think it was day before yesterday when I uploaded that, or when I recorded it. I went off on a tangent because during this update, I talk about what I've done on the channel and what I'm planning on doing on the channel. So during these updates, I'll say, okay, I filmed this video, we talked about this, and I said we play Star Citizen every Friday night, which had been true, right? I said I play for about an hour or two, but that's all I do, and then every Friday we'll play like an hour or two.
Stand clear. Doors are now closing.
And the reason why I why I went on a tangent was I made a comment that when I played last week, Friday night, I wasn't thinking about the game at all, not even a little bit. I was thinking about logging out and how soon could I log out and go play a different game. Okay, so that brought me to thinking, like, okay, if this is true, if I have this nagging desire not to play Star Citizen, why is that? And what are the motivations? And I was thinking of this to myself, and I said, you know what? This could be a topic of a video. And I said, you know what? Friday night, instead of playing the game, what I'll do is we'll talk about this subject. And that subject is, what is Star Citizen missing? You've probably seen the title already of the video. Okay, and we will be talking about that here in just a second. I'm gonna continue on with this story a little bit. So I thought to myself, is this something I could do every week? Is talk about just my thoughts, just give my thoughts about what's going on in Star Citizen, what's not going on in Star Citizen, what I want from Star Citizen, or anything else like that. And I said, yeah, I think I could do that. I don't think I could fill an hour. I don't think that's feasible. I think I could easily fill, or maybe not easily, but I think I could fill a 30-minute time slot on a Friday night. And it would be more of a just a quick video where you could watch, hear my opinions, on a topic, and then log out. You know, just quit it. Now, I will be taking chat. I have chat up. So if you're interested in dropping me some questions or things like that, when I'm done at the end of the video, what I'll do is I'll pause for a second and I will go back through the entire list of chat, because I'm not going to stop my conversation or my diatribe. I'm not going to stop my soliloquy to answer a question. So what I will do is, I promise you that if you post any questions in chat, I will take them one at a time at the end when I get ready to log out. So that's a promise for me. So the format of filling the void could be, we could re-energize or revitalize the whole panel idea where we have multiple streamers online at the same time. You don't have to stream, you just have to have a webcam, because I'll call you with Skype or Discord, or we'll figure something out, and then we'll put multiple cameras on the screen. But if that's not something you want to do, it's not something I want to do. Let me rephrase that. The reason why I say that is the first 3 years of filling the void was kind of like pulling teeth to get my co-hosts to be here on time and to have their green screen set up properly and to have them, me adjust the green screen and them to get their microphones working. And it was a whole production that we had to go through. And that took about an hour to do that, maybe 30 minutes to do that before every show. And when you don't show up but 5 minutes before the show starts, because you don't think, or I'm not going to say you have no responsibility, because they were showing up to the show, but they didn't help me out. It made it hard on me to get everything set up because I would have to do it in a flash. You know what I'm saying? So that was stressful for me. So I don't want to do that. I don't want to cause myself any stress or anything like that. So what I'm going to do is just do it myself. I'm not even going to have a camera on. I'm just going to have B-roll running in the background while I talk. All right. So what that does mean is I'm going to have to go get some more B-roll, right? So that's something I'll have to do, so you don't see the same video over and over and over. All right, let's talk about this. What is missing in Star Citizen? what sparked my conversation, or what sparked my belief, is something that I've already discussed on the... I've already made a video about this, but I feel like... I don't know how to explain it. I feel like it needs to be said again. Okay, so why the whole subject was, why did I want to log out of Star Citizen? I was logged in, I was running around, I was doing my thing, but what was pulling me away from Star Citizen? Well, another MMO. Another MMO that has more fun. The F-U-N word, the F word. I have more fun playing this other MMO than I do Star Citizen. Okay, well that's fine, because I'm giving Star Citizen all the excuses that I can give them, because I fully support this game and I want it to be fun. I know that it's not right now. I know that. And she's interrupting me. No, I know that it's not fun right now. And I know it will be fun when it's completed. Or will it? This is the crux of the position here. This other MMO, and you can put any MMO that you enjoy in this slot, has something to make you want to log in, right? I mean, you say to yourself, man, I wish I was playing this other game. Why? This is where my mind was going. It was like, and I was kind of like self-evaluating myself, the game, both games compared to each other. Why did I want to log into this other game? Well, it was because I needed to level my character. Not exactly, but that was part of it, right? I felt like I was only 23rd level. I was only maybe one mission away from being 24th level. And I was going to get some new skill or ability when I hit that 24th level. So I said, if I log in, I could do that one mission. It might be enough experience for me to level up my character. Okay, I don't know how many MMOs that you've ever played. All of them. I'm going to use that word again. All of them. All. 100%. No exceptions. All of them have something called character progression, where your character develops abilities and skills based on how much you play the game. Now, there's different ways to measure it. Some people might call it influence. Other people might call it experience. Some people might call it, I don't know, mana, or whatever they call it, right? Almost all of them call it, I'm going to say almost all of them call it experience. Okay. So let's just hypothetical say I log into Star Citizen. All right, I got my blaster, I got my armor, and I go on a mission. Me and my friends, we decide, hey, let's form a team and let's go take on the bad guys, right? And so we get in our ship and we fly over to the bad guy base. We climb out and we wreak havoc on these bad guys, right? When it's all said and done, we can all laugh and giggle and look at each other and say, boy, we kicked ass. The point is, who cares? Who cares? I mean, yes, it was fun. We got to blow them up. Big deal. Okay, well, hold on, Mr. Everything. Back up. You probably took that mission because someone promised you some credits. They probably said, if you do a mission, we'll give you 10,000 credits. Okay, that's true. That would be true. I wouldn't do the mission unless they offered some kind of reward. They gave us credits. Yay, I've got credits. Okay, that's just not enough. That's just not enough. You got to give some kind of additional rewards or progression. I have to get some experience points. I have to get some way to make my character better. I don't mean to make my possessions better. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about buying a bigger ship. I'm not talking about hiring an NPC to walk around with me. I'm not talking about getting a bigger gun. My blaster is a +1 blaster. I need a +2 blaster. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about my character. And that's when it hit me. When I log into Star Citizen, I do that mission. At the end, I go, well, that was fun. Yeah, I got some credits that are going to get wiped. Well, one thing is in alpha, and I understand it's going to be wiped, but that's still in my mind, even though I know it's going to happen, and I know it needs to happen, and I don't care if it happens or doesn't happen. The fact that it happens is in my head, and it's saying, well, why bother getting those credits? Because you're just going to get wiped. So I go, okay, so what's the other thing that brings me to Star Citizen then, if it's not the credits? Well, the fact that I'm able to help them develop their game, sure, that's got a little bit of a pull. You get to talk and chat with all your friends. I can do that on the phone. I can do that on Discord. I don't need a game to do that. Yeah, so it's... get to go sightseeing and look at all the cool stuff. Yeah, that honestly, truly, that is really cool. But that only lasts for a couple of minutes. And then once you've seen everything, you're like, okay, I've seen it all. Okay, so there's really nothing right now to pull me into the game. Okay, so no problem. So we look into the future. We go, okay, Mr. Everything. Yeah, there's nothing that's going to pull you into the game right now. But what about when the game is released? I understand it's still an alpha and there's a lot of bugs and your account's getting wiped. But what about the future when the game is released? You know, you're going to have all these cool things. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, let's think about this. In the future, I'm going to log on. I'm going to have my blaster. I'm going to have my armor. And I'm going to get a mission that pays 10,000 credits. I'm going to grab some friends. We're going to go do that mission, and then we're going to have some people maybe get killed. And they lose their lives because there's permadeath. Or maybe it costs me more fuel to fly over there than it does for the credits that you receive. Or maybe, I use up some ammunition because I'm using the S-71, which has a magazine that costs so many credits. And then I have to use my own personal bullets. And then at the end, I get paid 10,000 credits. Okay, well, if I brought like 7 friends with me and I've got to divvy it all up to everybody, then I'm not really breaking even. Okay, so I suspect that the game developers are going to balance the amount you get paid versus the risk to your equipment and the risk to your bodily life and stuff like that. So you have to kind of think, is it worth dying and not being able to respawn because you're on your last life during permadeath to do these hostile missions which pay a lot, Or am I just going to wander around being a snowflake, carrying cargo from planet to planet, avoiding all the pirates? Because I can't afford to die, or I can't afford to spend a missile because of all the credits that it costs. The damage to my ship would just cost way too many credits to repair. Okay, so these are all really cool concepts and ideas and things to think about in the game. But it makes me think, well, no, I just won't log in. I just won't play. I'll play another game. And so I thought to myself, even when this game is finished, based on everything they said this game will be, is there any incentive to play it? Right now, I don't think there is. There's no character progression. Okay, they do have story progression, and they have equipment progression. So you can get a better ship. Yeah, you can grind that one mission 100 million times, literally, and get a big ship. Or you could get you and your friends to pitch in and get a big ship. Or you can get armor, or you can get a bigger gun on your ship. Okay, so all these things are like leveling up your ship. My ship is not me. I am not my ship. I don't identify with my ship. The whole reason why it's a first-person game and they're really focusing on immersion is so that you don't feel like you're in your ship or you are your ship. So they're kind of stabbing themselves in the foot a little bit. If you're not your ship, which we are not, because hell, we can get out of our ship and wander the planet surface with no ship. So if we're not our ship, then our ship isn't our level. And that's an argument that people will make with you. They'll say, oh, Mr. Everything, you could get, if you got an Aurora and you could upgrade to maybe an Avenger. Yeah, so you basically leveled up. No, I didn't. My ship leveled up. I didn't level up. Okay, and then they could go, well, you could get bigger armor. Armor is equipment. That's not me. Well, you can get a reputation so that when you do good deeds, you'll get a good reputation, and when you do bad deeds, you get a bad reputation. Okay, I will give you that. That is one line of character progression that is in the game. So I give you that, okay? Progression for your own personal background, it's there. But that, to me, is not enough. I don't think there's enough to draw me into the game. Now, let's say there's those players out there that are like, oh man, I got to have some PvP. I really got to get in there and test my mettle against all these other players because I want to know if I'm the best. Okay, that's cool. That's cool and all, and you have fun doing that. But where are you going to do that at? Are you going to wait for someone to go into low security space outside the Empire? Or are you going to, you'll hang out there and all by yourself, and a player might show up 1 in a million times that you log in because space be crazy. It also be big, and you'll never see another player because it's 20 to 1, and you got all these NPCs running around. But, yeah, you can go fight an NPC, but are you really testing your mettle against an NPC? PvP players would say no. As a PvE player, and I admit it, I'm a PvE player, not adverse to PvP, but prefer PvE. I think the AI pilots can, not always will be, but can be even better than a player. Because they know they can react and control their ship a lot better, depending on how the AI programming is done. So is testing your mettle against? Okay, let's say I'm that pilot that never engages into combat, and I'm just mining away, having a good old time, trying to get some credits so I could buy that next ship and level my ship up. And Joe, PvP player, comes flying in. He says, "Oh, look at that. A mining ship that's not doing anything except trying to gather some rocks." And he flies down and engages in one-on-one combat with that ship. Is he really testing his mettle, or is he just being a dick? He's being a dick because that mining ship can't fight back. So are you trying to blow up the mining ship so you can get its cargo? Okay, I get that. Being a pirate, that's cool. But just being a dick, that's not being cool. Okay, so that's another thing. Player toxicity is going to keep me out of the game as well. Because if I'm playing my game that I paid money for, and I understand it's an MMO and there are other players, but to me, an MMO means cooperative play. It doesn't mean PvP play. I know a lot of people say, well, Mr. Everything, you can't have an MMO without PvP. Well, I disagree. I play a lot of MMOs, and the only time you do PvP is if you voluntarily chose like either a PvP server or a PvP zone, not subject to PvP no matter where you are. I don't mind it. I know what I was getting into when I signed up for Star Citizen, because I know that there is going to be secure space and non-secure space. I know there's going to be the advocacy and the Navy and the Empire, and there's going to be pirates and stuff like that not in the Empire, and I get that. So I will make that decision as, do I want to risk it and go into like a low security area because that's where the best minerals are at, or do I want to stay safe and stay inside of an area that has, maybe not the best minerals, but it usually is better patrolled. See, that's a what do they call it? A risk reward option that I would have to make. But let's say I'm in a secured zone and I still get attacked. Okay, well, I got to fight myself. I got to fight back. Okay, no problem. No biggie. But that's not what I'm aiming for. I'm not aiming to go against players. I'm aiming to say, hey, you 20 players over there, and specifically players, why don't we join up forces and go take on this AI pirate base or something? Or another player org. That's entirely possible. But I'm not focusing on the hostility portion of the multiplayer. I'm focusing on the cooperative portion of the multiplayer. And some people say I'm an optimist, or I always see the positives in things, and I'm always smiling. And so I think that's a better way to live life. So that's just me. But so I'm always going to think, let's play cooperative. I'm not saying let's try to blow each other up, even though sometimes I'll do that now during the alpha, because I know everything's going to get wiped and my characters' lives don't matter. They don't have any value. But when the game actually goes live, your life will have a value, and you can't just be going out and getting yourself killed every 15 minutes, because after a while you're going to lose your last life and you're not going to be able to respawn. And when you do respawn, it's going to be an heir, and that heir is only going to get like half of your money because of the inheritance tax. Okay, now that I've talked a little bit of the negatives, like what is it missing, why I'm kind of disappointed with Star Citizen at this moment, because the problem is I can't see the motivation to play the game at this time. The only motivation is just the immersion into a sci-fi world. I can visit different locations. I can talk to my friends. but that's it. And to me, that's just not enough. My character has no purpose. It has no reason other than doing these missions and making money. There needs to be a way that I could develop skills or learn skills. In the old days, and I'm going to say this back in Wingman's Hangar 10 for the Chairman time, they mentioned there were going to be skills. Things like a special martial art that you could go to a Xi'an, or maybe it was a Banu Kung Fu master from and they would teach you the Banu martial art technique for taking, hand-to-hand combat. And I was thinking, and if you did that training and got that skill, then you would have certain emotes or certain moves that you could perform when you did your actions or when you did your takedowns or knife fights or whatever. I thought that would be cool. Even if the numbers were exactly the same, even if my punch and your punch was exactly the same mechanically, but mine looked really cool and I had to go get some training to do it, that is character progression. Character progression doesn't have to be a numerical value. It doesn't have to be my punch does 10 extra points of damage. It doesn't have to be that way. It could be looks, but you have to have you have to go do this thing first to be able to get this other thing. Then that would be character progression. But it has to be about your character and not about your equipment, and not about your ship, and not about your guns, and not about your so I don't know. So let's talk about something positive. That's what I meant to do. Graphics wise, game looks beautiful. And it's not even released. This is still alpha. They're still working on it. They're polishing all the time. In a couple of years, ArcCore right here that you're watching on the screen, it'll look even better, right? You'll have another couple of planets out, and gradually they're going to start releasing tons and tons of solar systems. They're gonna figure it out. They haven't done it yet, but they're gonna break the code, where they're gonna be able to figure out how to do this container streaming and bind culling and all that stuff that's holding them back right now. They'll figure it out, and when they do, the game servers will start to have hundreds of people, which all that means is the percentage of griefers is going up. So, trying to stay positive. So a lot more players are going to be on. You're going to see a lot more ships, and eventually they'll be able to turn on AI ships. We should be seeing AI taking off and landing, but right now we don't see that. We do see people walking around, but there's no subsumption. You can't actually talk to any of the NPCs. There's very few. They call them mission givers. I need to talk to the guy that's selling me a hot dog. I need to do that. They don't have that in the game right now. Like that guy right there. You can't talk to him. The bank terminals, all that stuff's got to be working. They just haven't got all that in. I look forward to that happening in about 2 years. Because at the end of next year, end of 2020, is when, or is it 2019? I think it's 2020. The end of 2020 is when we should see Squadron 42 released to the public, live, full force. When that happens, those assets that are in use for Squadron 42 can be used everywhere else, plus the resources, i.e. the people doing all the work, will now be able to work on Star Citizen proper. And so we should start to see a lot more. We should see like a patch every month, you would think, right? Or those 3-month patches should have a lot more content in them, like multiple solar systems. But as of right now, we're only getting one solar system, and that's every couple of patches. So every 6 months or so. So, but does everything look good? Yeah. Are there bugs? Of course there's bugs. I'm not really concerned about the bugs. I don't care about bugs. You know, if I log in, I log out. Or the other night I logged in and I couldn't get out of bed because I didn't have any air in my hab. I kept suffocating to death. That's kind of funny. To me, that's just funny. Because I know that's not every time. It was just happened to be my turn. Okay, so I think I've talked enough. I went on for almost an hour, and I didn't mean to do that. I meant to try to keep this about 30 minutes. So I'm looking at my chat right now. I don't see any questions. This might be a format that's too late at night for me to get any questions, but this is the time that I have that I can talk, and there's not a whole lot of sound in the house. Other things aren't going on, so that's why I stream after midnight usually. All right, guys. Well, thanks for coming out and listening to me rant about character progression, and I don't think there's any motivation to actually play right now other than to help test the game or to explore. If you feel like if I missed something, or if you feel like you agree with me, or even if you disagree with me, please post it in the comments below. If I overlook something, or if you think that there is character progression other than equipment, let me know, and I'd like to hear what you guys have to say. All right, guys, and I'll catch you next time.